Welcome to the fourth lecture of the course Introduction to Business. Today we will look uh, behind the process of not only documenting your plan by doing your link canvas like we did last lectures. Today we will look on a process what to do with this document or um, what to do with other other views you can have on your business idea. Firstly, uh, I would like to look on the third step of developing the idea, which is systematically testing your plan. I skipped on purpose step number 2. We will go through it later on. So today I would like to go with you the step number 3. So when you have your plan, you know what you want to do, what are your customers, what problem you're solving, what's your revenue model, and so on and so on. Now it's time just to test your plan, to find out if it's not only in your head, but if it's also viable business idea, business plan, which could be successful. So, so this is in general what it is about. The main idea behind Lean Canvas methodology is iterations, agile approach, which I explained to you last lecture, which means you go in circles and you don't rely that you are right in the first try. You and it's nicely seen on this picture that you have your idea, you build some prototype. It doesn't have to be final product. You measure if it is successful, if you are going the right way. You gather the data, you learn from your data, and again you start uh, modifying, pivoting your idea, and again you will build modified prototype. You measure the data and you learn from your data, from your outcomes. So it's these are in circles and in iterations. Maybe you will hear term iteration, which means the same like in uh, the circles of life cycle of modifying and improving your product. So those are, I would like to explain you two examples from the book Running Lean, which shows that you actually don't need to create the final product to receive the strong insight if you are on the right path, if your business idea has the potential to be successful. So first example is Dropbox. I've already gave you I've already given you the case study, which is based not only on a book Running Lean, but also the other materials. Anyways, it's this example shows that Dropbox, which is application for sharing files. So while building Dropbox and at MIT, which is a very famous university. Drew Houston, which was the founder, posted a 3-minute video demo on Hacker News that went viral. It's not demo like demo version, it was like video. They just posted 3-minute video. The video plus teaser landing page helped him attract tens of thousands of early adopters, find a co-founder, and get accepted into Y Combinator. At the time, Drew estimated his launch date at less than 3 months away. It took him 18 months to publicly launch Dropbox. That means that Drew Houston had an idea. He had an idea that it would be great if you can synchronize files between devices. And he thought that through, and he created a video where he explained everything. And he got very strong positive feedback that this is just great idea. And just based on this video, he found a co-founder, he found he attracted the attention of thousands of early adopters. Early adopters are the customers or people who are looking for new technologies, new ways how to use things and so on. So those are early adopters. And just based on this video, he was accepted into Y Combinator. Y Combinator is very famous business incubator based in California, in Silicon Valley. So just sometimes the video just is enough for you to get the feedback that you are on the right path. The second example is about trying or experimenting if my restaurant idea or if the restaurant idea is good. So you don't. It's called you don't need a restaurant to test a new food concept. Food trailers have become quite hip and popular in Austin, Texas, but they started as an inexpensive way for aspiring restaurateurs to test a concept rapidly. After proving a new concept at small scale, they typically graduate to a brick and mortar restaurant. Franklin's Barbecue is the latest success story to make this transition after being named the best barbecue joint in the country by Bon Appetit magazine. But some have still kept their trailer counterparts going. That's where they still experiment with new menu items before pushing them in their restaurants. So, those guys, before they pay a lot of money just for rent, for buying the equipment, the tables, chairs, the kitchen equipment is very, very expensive, and so on. Uh, and then they would understand that the people are not going there, they don't like the meals, and so on. So they just buy food trailer, which is, the large car where you sell your meals from, and they trying the recipes there. They are selling those meals to customers, getting feedbacks, modifying their meals, changing. They're trying the prices and which meals are more favorite, which one is less favorite. Maybe in winter some meals are more favorite, in summer other meals are more favorite. So for example, in winter there is some more like spicy meals, In summer, it's more like about salads and so on. And so I don't know. Anyways, the point is that they're trying and modifying their meals and the experience of customers by investing as less as possible, because if they lose, which means that people won't like their products, their meal, they don't lose that amount of money. They just got experience, fine, and they will maybe try something else. So they will start with Mexican meals, and then they will change it to Spanish meals, for example. So for tapas, for example. So the point is that if you spend as low, limited money as possible to get the feedback from customers, the best for your business idea. Because if it's wrong, it's fail, you just scratch a bit of money, and it will just move on and you try something else. So there are two ways how you can get a feedback and to get some information from your customers. First one is validation, and second one is verification. And it's more like steps than that you would do that in parallel. So you would start with validation. Validation is quantitative, which means that you would get the data which is more about approach, about what people like, their opinions, and they are gathered by interviews with customers. So you will just ask your people, what do you like about my meal? What do you dislike about the meal? What you would improve about my meal? What do you think about the price? And so on and so on. So they will interview the customers. That's first step. You will get strong, if you get strong positive feedback, you could define hypothesis, and based on this hypothesis, you would do your verification, which means you will do it quantitatively. That you will get some raw data which will prove hypothesis right or wrong. So your hypothesis would look like uh, our business is success if, for example, if you're doing some food blog, if we are having 1,000 visits per day, for example, and this hypothesis, if you would have more than 1,000 visits per day in average, you can prove your hypothesis that your business idea looks like success. Though there are different ways how you can verify your product ideas by number of subscribers, number of pre-orders, how many products you've already sold. You can have some questionnaire, and you can analyze your the answers and so on. So let's dig a bit about this topic in detail, and validate qualitatively, verify quantitatively, which is just what I tried to explain you one slide before. And the market is riddled with extreme uncertainty. The good news is when you have a lot of uncertainty, you don't need a lot of data to learn. Your initial goal is to get a strong signal, positive or negative, that typically doesn't require a large sample size. You might be able to do this with a few as 5 customer interviews, at least 3 of those doesn't make sense because those were last year, so ignore this one. A strong negative signal indicates that your bold hypothesis most likely won't work and lets you quickly refine or abandon it. However, a strong positive signal doesn't necessarily mean your hypothesis will scale up to a statistical significance, but it gives you a permission to move forward on the hypothesis until it can be verified later through quantitative data. What does it mean? It means that you are looking for strong signal from your customers. If you have a business idea and your customers would say, all right, that's fine, okay, that doesn't look like a huge success. Your time and money are precious, so you don't want to waste it on something which is just okay. You're looking for strong signal. So if the people would say, that is wonderful, I want it, where I can buy it, that's great, and so on. So this is the feedback you're looking for, and it will help you to continue with your work. Identify a single key metric or goal. A strategic startup can focus on only one metric, so you have to decide what that is and ignore everything else. When formulating an experiment, stay focused on a key learning or key metric you need to achieve. While it's possible to tackle multiple metrics and goals simultaneously, it's always most effective to stay singularly focused. So when you're looking for a metric which you would try to verify your product idea, just identify key metric and stick with it, and try to define it as good as simple as possible, so for you to understand the output of this verification. Formulate a falsifiable hypothesis. What most people write down for their business model is really not yet in a form of testable. A falsifiable hypothesis is a statement that can be clearly proven wrong. When you skip this step, you can easily fall into a trap of accumulating just enough evidence to convince yourself that your hypothesis is correct. So you need to define your hypothesis, your success hypothesis that can be proven wrong. Because if it can't, you will just fool yourself. Maybe you will spend time and money on business idea which are not supposed to be a success. So there's some example, which is to wake. Being known as an expert will drive early adopters. You should be more specific and testable, which means a blog post will drive 100 signups. So if you are concise, you can prove this hypothesis wrong. All right. The first statement is hypothesis. They cannot be proven because the expected outcome of driving early adopters is not measurable. Specifically, it is not clear how many early adopters are needed to prove this hypothesis to be true. The second statement not only has a specific measurable outcome, but it is also based on specific and repeatable action that makes it testable. So, I would like to go through the example from my company. I can't show you which company it is because of NDA in my company, but it's few years ago. It's like 4 or 5 years ago, and the company came and say, because I was already product manager, and they came up with the idea, you should come, all of you, come up with new product which we can sell. And as I said last or lectures before that about Lean Canvas and my colleague, who did it, this car insurance, this was mine. And mine was called Ochránce, which was a simple product, which means that if you pay 99 crowns per month, you will get a device which is for old people, and there's like this base one. Like, the idea was that it's like this base device which sits on the table, and this is like the small button which old people have on their neck. And if they are in distress, they will just push this button, and this button will call help, which means that it will call on 5 numbers and or send a text message to those numbers. So this was the idea. I found on the internet some photo of almost dead grandma, and this was the, and put it in this flyer, or let's say teaser of my product, which I was presenting on quite a high board, to be honest, and they were quite interested about this product, and say, fine, test it, just test it on your customers. I said, okay. So I thought, okay, we can try it in stores or on online, and so I said, okay, we will start with a store. So we found one store where we will try to offer it to a customer, and this store will have this show stand. There was some poster, and we will ask the customers. We will offer this product to customers and ask about their idea. So that was it. And the second step was intended to be to make it online, and to get some feedback. So those are the posters which our marketing department created, because I wasn't supposed to use my dead grandma on the floor. They said it's too brutal for customers, so they created some happy face of grandpa, and happy face of grandma with his daughter, and so on. So this was more corporate like face. So we printed those 2 posters. That's me in a shop in Hostivar. This is a stand we used. This is me, much younger, with hair and much thinner than I am today. And this is a poster we did. It looked like that I was there. It was for 1 month. I was there, and I was we showed that this. Oh, we pretend that this product is real, and when customer came to a salesperson, he said, okay, we have new product, which is Ochránce. Do you want to buy it? It's 99 crowns per month. And if he say yes, we will say, okay, unfortunately it's not ready yet, but we will let you know. But if they say no, we don't want it, we ask them why. What is the problem with the product? Why don't you want to buy it? It's the price too high and so on. So this was the idea. We also did some selling arguments. So some open sell question, which is this question when you start your sale. So we have to define this. Always helps if you have your own story. So we defined the story, and we gave the clerks in stores some objections. So if they would say, okay, but will my grandpa will actually use it, or isn't it too expensive? So there are some pre-made answers they can use. They don't have to use it, they can use it. We identified that there are two typical customers. First one are seniors' offspring, the daughter or son, or the old person itself. So those were in our opinion two typical customers. So we launched it in 2015 in start of the March, and in the end, and after 1 month, we just ended it, and we identified some issues, which means that we thought that people would actually come to store and they don't pay attention to our product, that our salesperson or our clerks won't offer the product, or that people would be angry that we will say, okay, we actually don't have the product. So the results were that we asked 29 customers, and most of them, they said they won't use it. But interestingly, most of them were those old people. So we understood that our typical customer is the offspring. They were more likely to buy our product, not those old people, because they thought they are invincible, that we actually they actually don't need it at all. Nothing wrong can happen to them. So those are this 38% mostly. But there were some objections about the design of the product, so we looked into the design. They said that already have something from a competitor. Those were the alligators mobile phones, and actually the price wasn't that a huge problem. So we thought that's fine. So in the end, we didn't start doing the product, but not because the people actually wouldn't like it. Those two successful to 27 is quite fine, but mostly because they the amount of money needed to actually create in a product wouldn't pay back this would be payback by the sales, the size of the market. So the output was that, okay, the product is quite fine. You have to work on a design a lot. Our typical customer is not old people, it's the offsprings, but the development costs of the product would be much higher than our potential market. So we said, okay, we won't do that, and we stopped. And again, what that costed? That costed 1 month trial in one store, which was very low, in contrast to to the costs of developing the product, and we had a valuable lesson, and it was worth it. So this validation, or this, in this case, verification from the customers, would bring huge value in feedback which you can get about your product idea. And strong message from the author of Running Lean, the book, is get out of the building, which means don't stay in the meeting rooms with this social bubble of your colleagues, and where you think, okay, this is a great idea, that would be great success. No, stand up, get out of the building, and ask your customers. Use open questions. What do you think about the product? What would you improve about our product? What you don't like about the product? Why would you buy our product? Get these information from your customers. So prefer face-to-face interviews. Again, today it's coronavirus, it's not that easy, but it will pass. So this is more like a general recommendation. You can start with people you know, it's easier for you, and take someone with you. So because he can get some information which you actually can miss, and he can help you to make it more rational, the outcome, than if you would do it by yourself. So thank you for your attention, and see you on a lecture when we will go through this briefly, and I'll have for you have some homework from last week, and then we will do again some work, and I will give you some homework for next week as well. So see you, and thank you very much.